What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Let's Ask Paul, the podcast that answers all of your pressing questions about the electrical industry and, of course, the National Electrical Code. On today's episode, we're going to be answering a question for somebody who wants to know how to take their game to the next level. They're already an electrician, but now they want to dabble into becoming an electrical inspector, which I know a little bit about. So I'll elaborate on that a little bit. But before we get into that episode, I want to remind you folks, we have probably the best app available when it comes to electrical, right? Now you can get exam prep apps that do nothing but give you questions. Big deal. You can get calculators. Who needs them? But if you want to have an expert in your pocket, you want to have forums like the Sparky Hub. You want to have access to podcasts, to videos. You want to have access to all of those great goodies. Then you need to get our new mobile app. To get it, you just go to necchat.com. That's www.necchat.com. Of course, you can also get it from our website right at the top at electricalcodeacademy.net.com or .org. It doesn't matter. Just go to the top of the screen. You'll see the link for the app. Download it on your phone and follow the directions, and you'll get daily push notices from me, alerts from me. You can log in and join the Sparky Hub and chime in with other electricians that are like-minded, just like you, without the worry of all these other social media ads, things popping up, or all of the BS associated with social media, which you can keep that if you want. But if you're an electrical guy or gal and you want to hone in on getting electrical topics, then you want to come to the Sparky Hub. It is our exclusive social media. Check it out. You can go to thesparkyhub.com if you want, or like I say, get the app. If you get the app, you can get right there, straight from the app. It's an awesome thing. All right, enough of that today. Also, I'll mention if you want to get any of our swaggy wear, our shirts, our hats, our mugs, our stickers, duffel bags. Dude, we even have tennis shoes. Anything that you want to show your pride that you're an electrician, because you know what? You better be proud of it, because it is a noble profession. I'm telling you, we're the ones that keep the light on, okay? Nobody else can do anything if we don't keep things running. You know what I'm saying? Okay, plumbers, if the toilet's not working, you can always grab a 5-gallon bucket and a pool noodle and a roll of toilet paper, and you can get business done. You know what I'm saying? But it can get quite nasty if you have to do it in the dark. I'm just saying. So electricians make it happen, and go get that app. You can get so much stuff off that app. But if you want to wear some swaggy looking stuff, then you want to go to electricianpride.com. electricianpride, Pride.com, and you will see so many goodies. Go looking, see what you can find. We have bumper stickers, man. We got it all. All right, anyway, that's all for the ads today. So let's get into today's question. What do we got here? So let's see. The glasses aren't working. I got a new set of glasses, and they suck. I know they're trifocals or something like that. I didn't ask for trifocals. I wanted bifocals because I can't see. But these things are trifocals. They got me all screwed up. And I swear I think they screwed my prescription up. I have to move the things all the way down to the end of my nose to be able to even see anything. Well, anyway, story of my life. All right, let's see what we got today. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Let me pull the mic over here. Let's see. It says, "Good day, Mr. Abernathy. Thank you for taking the time to read this message, as I am aware you must be a very busy man. I'm never busy for you folks. I'm always there to help you. It say, I purchased your package, and it helped me become a qualified and licensed journeyman in the state of California." So, it was a former fast track student. Okay, great. It says, Now that I'm a licensed journeyman, I'm extremely interested in becoming a commercial electrical inspector. Is there any advice you could offer me in my quest to become an electrical inspector? Again, thank you for your time and patience and receiving my message. Sincerely, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so let me answer that question for you. Again, great question. Being an electrical inspector was one of the coolest things that I did. I was ahead of the jurisdiction, but I started out doing electrical inspections, and it was neat because, you get to walk in two different worlds. Those that install it and those that inspect it. And not always do the ones that inspect it have the experience from walking in the field and actually working with their hands. And that's okay because there's two different trains of thought here. So the electrician who wants to be an electrical inspector has a leg up on an electrical inspector who was never an electrician in the field. Now, they both can do an equally a good job, but it's just the way that they have to approach it. And I'll give you an example. So if you're an electrician like this gentleman here, and you want to transition into being, he was an electrical contractor, electrician, journeyman electrician, and he wants to be an electrical inspector. First thing I will tell anybody that has been an electrician who wants to get into the inspection industry is remember that you have to, did anybody ever see that movie Over the Top, with Sylvester Stallone, and it was an arm wrestling movie, and right before he was going to put that over the top move on his competitor, he would take that hat and he would turn that thing around and then he would get to arm wrestling, it's that move. So I tell people, if you're going to be an electrical inspector, you're going to have to turn that hat around. I remember a funny story that one of my best friends who is recently retired, but he was the electrical plans examiner for the city of Richmond, Virginia, and he was an inspector, and I was part of the ones that hired him. And I remember when he rode with me and we were going around and I was showing him the ropes, I used to tell him, I'm saying, look, because he was he was an electrician, and good electrician. And I told him, you have to wear a different hat as an inspector. And he said, what do you mean? Isn't it all the same? I'm like, no, because you're inspecting it to meet the minimum safety standard. Now, we have people out there that hate that saying, it usually because they lack the education to understand what we mean by minimum safety standard. What that means is if you do an installation based on the National Electrical Code, which you can always go above, but if you do it to the NEC's language, that's the minimally safest the structure can be. And as far as the code's concerned, it's considered safe. Not free from anything, but it's considered, in all things considered, safe. So if you follow the NEC, you still can't fix stupid. People do stupid things. But if you follow the NEC, it's considered to be a safe installation from that standpoint. Okay? Now, you have to remember that you might have done something a certain way, but now that you're an inspector, the first advice I'd give you is remember that you need to not say to somebody and fail it because I didn't do it that way, or I wouldn't have done it that way, or that's not the way I would have done it. It doesn't matter. As The Rock would say, it doesn't matter what you would do. You're just there to inspect it, not expect it. Do your inspection, do it to the code. If it's compliant, then you sign off on it and you move on your merry way. If you had such high standards as an electrical contractor or an electrician, don't make other people have to come to your high standards. They only need to meet the National Electrical Code. That's it. Whether somebody likes that or not, that's it. That's the facts. So you can say, I'm an inspector. No, that's not how it's going to work for me. They need to do this. Dude, then you need to get that little chip off your shoulder, that little God complex. You need to get rid of it. Your job is not to save the world, okay? Your job is to save your community and make sure that it is a safe installation, code-compliant installation, and that's it. If you think something doesn't look pretty, okay, you don't think the workmanship is well on that, boy, that's a hard one to defend, because as long as it's not blatantly bad, as long as it functions, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Have you ever seen pictures of people post on TikTok and Instagram and all that, and they're so proud of their installation? And to somebody else, there's always somebody that comments with a nasty comment. Again, you're not going to please everybody. Don't try to please everybody. It's not worth it. Life is not worth that amount of stress. I learned long ago, I don't give a damn what people think of me. I really don't. I lose no sleep at night over it. In fact, my haters, I love the fact that I'm inside of their head because that's real estate that they'll never get back. I'm in their head. I love it. I love it. So if you think about that as an electrical inspector who was an electrician, you have to let that go. So that's my first advice to you is be ready to let that part go. The next thing I will tell you is you need to focus probably more now on learning the National Electrical Code because that's going to be what you're considered very proficient at, right? Because that's what you do. You're inspecting for compliance to this National Electrical Code and any local amendments that you might have in your jurisdiction. I mean, that's your responsibility. So it's even more important when somebody becomes an electrical inspector to do their continuing eds, to take training, to learn the code even better, to dig deeper. And that's my challenge to you, the one who submitted this. If you want to be an electrical inspector, look in the code and look for those things that you don't understand. And because you don't understand them, they need to be your focus point to some point understand it. That means ask the questions to the right people. That means taking classes if you need to. That means getting back in the fast tracks if that's what it's needed. Or if it's commercial, it sounds to me like you want to be an electrical inspector for commercial installations, then you would need our fast tracks commercial plan, where we go very deep into the weeds when it comes to commercial electrical installations. So we have a course for everything, right? So those courses are residential, are commercial. Those are post-licensing, in case you didn't know. Those are designed for after you already have a license and now you want to deep dive into the different nuances of residential or commercial, or even the grounding and bonding. Every inspector needs to have a solid foundation in grounding and bonding. Okay? So that's some advice on that. I will tell you that it is harder for an electrical inspector to do their job that was never an electrician because they won't understand the terminologies. They won't grasp those type of things. So my advice to somebody out there who wants to become an electrical inspector that might have been a plumber or mechanical or a floor sander, yeah, believe it or not, it doesn't matter. All over the country, you can become an electrical inspector and have no electrician license. But you still, depending on the jurisdiction, you might have to get a certification through ICC or something else. I mean, who knows? The jurisdiction might even accept our CMECP program as equivalent. You'd have to check your own on that. We can't guarantee that, but again, it's all documented. You get a certificate of completion. You get all. So, I mean, it's possible, but you have to do whatever the jurisdiction is accepting in order to show that you have the knowledge to be an electrical inspector. I know quite a few electrical inspectors that never ran any cable, never ran any conduit in their life. And they were pretty sharp electrical inspectors. And I know a couple that have moved on to higher profession. I mean, they moved into plans examiners. And they do great stuff. They understand the code. They do a great job. But they had to struggle a little harder, right? Because they don't have that knowledge that you get as being an electrician, right? So there's a struggle for each end of it, but it sounds like this person that submitted this, you're already a journeyman electrician. You already work with your hands. The transition to an electrical inspector, my advice is to dive into the code and pick the nuances of things that you don't understand. If you don't understand motors in 430, then just get in there, plant your feet, get your claws into that article, and just squeeze it and milk it for everything you can. If something comes up you don't understand, seek guidance. Ask somebody. But be careful of your source, okay? Because not everybody's answer is equal. I'm just saying. So, and everybody's entitled to an opinion. But I'll also tell you that your library of knowledge can also start to increase as an inspector. There's a lot of great publications out there that you can acquire to help expand. One of the books that I do recommend to people all the time is from Fred Hartwell. And it's the NEC handbook, not the one that comes from NFPA, but it's Fred Hartwell. I like his approach. I like his straightforwardness. He doesn't BS around. Fred's not known for that. And it's a great document to have. in your arsenal. It's great. It's opinion. It's his opinion, but he's pretty spot on. He's a pretty sharp guy. So that's a great book to have in your arsenal. Have it handy in your electrical inspection vehicle. Okay. Make it available to all of your other inspectors. Maybe y'all should do, training every week. But I digress because you're not an inspector yet. You're just trying to get there. The next thing I'll tell you that you could do is go on, whether or not you're inspecting or not, or you want to go in that direction, go on and get your ICC electrical inspector license, or certification, I should say. So there's one for the residential, there's one for the commercial, and there's one for plans examiner. Go get all three of them. Dude, it's just the cost of a test. If you fail it, take it again. No big deal, no stress. But see what you know. But prior to that, I would say get in a good, training program like our fast tracks or like our commercial. But I can tell you, if you're going to take the residential, then you need to take the residential program, the fast tracks red. If you're going to take commercial, then that would be different. That's the fast tracks green. If you just want a 30,000 foot learning of the code to be able to pass an ICC exam, then our regular fast tracks black would be the one you would use. And it sounds like you've already been through that. Okay. So those are the kind of advice that I can give you. That's the best advice I can give you. But I will tell you, being an inspector, it was fun. I enjoyed it. Great people. I loved helping the community. I moved up very quickly into management and then ended up being the engineer too for the city of Richmond. And then it ended up being the, I can't remember what the title was for it, code supervisor in Alexandria, Virginia. Loved working at Richmond when I was the inspector, and then I moved up to the manager, and then I moved up to the plans examiner. I enjoyed that. I did not enjoy my time with the city of Alexandria, and I was ahead of the codes. But again, it's Northern Virginia, way too political. Everybody's connected. They talk a big game, but then behind the scenes, they don't enforce anything. That's just my opinion. Great people though, just Greg, who's ahead of that, who's the director. He's a great guy. So, just nothing against them. It's just the way I felt the administration wasn't really supported. But again, that was many years ago. So it's probably changed by now. Because Greg wasn't in charge at that point. Now he is. So he's probably made a lot of changes. Okay. Some great guys over there that are working there. And they're combination inspectors. So that's the other thing. They were plumbing, mechanical, electrical, and that's tough. It's tough to be really good at electrical and then have to be good at building and plumbing and mechanical too. I'm an electrical guy. I just focus electrical. Okay. That type of thing. Although I was over all of them up there, everybody knows my focus. And I had ICC certifications in plumbing, mechanical, building, electrical. I had all of the certifications from ICC. And I even passed the technical portion for the CBO. But I decided not to go for the legal part because I realized I did not want to be a building official. I did not want nothing to do with that. I'm an electrical guy. So that's when I left and went to work for NEMA. And of course, again, that was many years ago. But point is, hopefully that helped you out. Hopefully I didn't ramble too much for you. But I would go on and start studying and really focusing on those things that you feel you're weak with. If you look up something and you don't understand it, then you're weak in it. You need to focus, whether it's PV, motors, any of that. That's what you want to be studying. That's what you want to focus on it. And if you don't understand it, then you dig your claws in until you understand it. That's my advice for you, my friend. Okay. So anyway, that's it for that episode. I am going to keep this one short. Hopefully that helped you out in your transition to becoming an electrical inspector. Again, if I can help you in any other way, feel free to reach out to me. Everybody knows how you can get me. You just go over to electricalcodeacademy.com, .net, or .org. Of course, you can go to paulabernathy.com and submit more questions through the portal. One way you can get in touch with us and be a part of our community is to download our mobile app. Dude, you'd be surprised how easy it is to maneuver our Sparky Hub, our videos, all of those things directly from your phone. and it is so smooth and slick. Just go to the website and download it at electricalcodeacademy.com.net or .org, or even go to our mobile download page, www.necchat.com. That's necchat.com. Now, the NEC stands for National Electrical Collective. That is a new company that we're starting that brings resources together from many different authors, many different educators. That's why a lot of our new training videos that we're coming out with are white label. Means they're not going to have us branded on it. I'm teaching it, but it's going to be very white label. That's part of the National Electrical Collective that we're working on. So the chat means that we're going to, that obviously means that it's part of chat features. So the necchat.com is where you would go to download our mobile app, and it's free. Everybody loves free, right? All right, folks. Well, that's it for this episode. Hopefully you got something out of it. Hopefully you, who submitted the question, have a successful career as an electrical inspector, taking your game to that level. It used to be that electrical inspections wasn't a career, but it most certainly is a career. They pay very well. They do a great service to the community, making sure it stays safe. And just remember, you got to wear different hats, and don't expect people to do things the way you did it, and you'll have no problem at all. Till next time, folks, stay safe. God bless.